Substances entering and leaving plants. The cell membrane controls the movement of substances into and out of cells, as shown here. The cell membrane therefore controls the chemical composition of the internal environment of the cell. The cell membrane controls movement in two ways: passive processes, in which the cell does not use energy, and active processes which need energy. Passive processes. These work on the principle of diffusion, in which molecules and ions in solution move from areas of high concentration to areas of low concentration. In the situation shown, diffusion will result in the sugar molecules being equally distributed in the water. Cell membranes are selectively or partially permeable. This means that some molecules and ions can pass freely through them down concentration gradients, but others cannot. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water are examples of molecules which cross membranes easily by diffusion. In a respiring muscle cell, for example, oxygen will pass into the muscle and carbon dioxide will pass out. Osmosis. The cell membrane is partially permeable in that it allows some molecules to diffuse through rapidly, but slows down the passage of others. The glucose molecules try to diffuse to the outside, but cannot get through the membrane because the pores are too small. Water molecules diffuse through the pores down a concentration gradient. This membrane-controlled diffusion of water molecules is called osmosis. Osmosis can work both ways, so that water can pass into or out of the cell. An experiment to demonstrate osmosis. Visking tubing, used in kidney dialysis, is partially permeable in the same way as cell membranes. In the experiment shown, the tubing was firstly filled with sugar solution and placed in a container full of water. Then the tubing was filled with water and placed in a container full of sugar solution. The effects observed are due to the water molecules being able to pass through the membrane, while the sugar molecules are too large to do this. In this experiment, fresh potato was diced, surface dried, and weighed in 2 separate batches. The batches were then treated in the following way. The first batch, A, was placed in pure water. The second batch, B, was placed in sugar solution. After 2 hours, the batches were surface dried and reweighed. Calculate the percentage weight change and place the figure in the table.
As you see, in batch 1, the weight is gained and we get in percentage, so 15 minus 15.9, we will get 0.9. But in order to get percentage, we multiply 0.9 with 666, so we get 6%, and that is correct. And in case of B, the answer will be -5. Thank you.
When the cell becomes limp because it loses water osmotically, it is described as flaccid. When the cell becomes rigid because water has been taken in osmotically, it is described as turgid. Eventually, the vacuole shrinks so much that the cytoplasm is pulled away from the cell wall. The cell is plasmolysed.
Of animal cell, when a red blood cell placed in a pure water, it gain water osmotically or osmosis, and it become finally ruptured. And when red blood cell placed in concentrated solution, it lose its turgidity and water moves out from inside cell to outside, and the cell become shrink.
Active processes. It is possible to transport substances across a cell membrane against a concentration gradient. It does, however, require energy to achieve this. This energy is derived from breaking down glucose molecules into adenosine triphosphate, or ATP for short. Using this energy, proteins can pump water molecules through a membrane against a concentration gradient. Active transport of glucose occurs in the cells of the gut lining in animals. Similarly, in plants, minerals are taken up by root hairs by means of active transport.